everybody, this is Angela Savage, the daughter of IndyCar driver Swede Savage. It's time to watch stories from motorsports. My buddy, Doug Kenny, loves to share the journey of people in racing, and he is an amazing dude. Drivers, owners, fans, and team members, watch the SFM podcast.
Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny from Stories from Motorsports. I'd like to thank my buddy Josh Mabe for the YouTube work he did years ago that inspired me to create this platform. I'd like to thank my buddy Victor Sifton for convincing me to get back into it after my hiatus from 2017 to 2019. I have a very special treat for you all today with an amazing journey from an amazing racing figure. Drivers, start your engines. Yeah. What do you remember about Al Unser winning his 4th Indy 500?
I was in the hospital trying to fight for my life and save my foot when he won that. As a matter of fact, I remember them coming in my hotel room with paddles, watching the TV, realizing the Indy 500's on and somebody in my room was going to get zapped, and I was in a private room. Oop. And I woke up later to hear that he won the race because I had crashed at the fairgrounds Friday night in a champion car race, and Trammell was putting my foot back on that day. So I was there.
So Dr. Steve Olvey and Dr. Trammell saved you?
Yeah, Trammell mainly, but yeah. Trammell saved my foot big time.
That's the same thing they did with Rick Mears in his accident.
Oh yeah. Mine was very similar and almost similar to his bad. My foot broke just a few inches above the ankle, so a real bad place. Both bones out of the skin, oil fire. It was a real mess. Terry came in for 2 weeks. Well, looks good today. If it gets infected, I'll cut off tomorrow. We're good. All right. They come and say the same thing the next day. One day he came in and says, dude, I think you can keep your foot. This is amazing.
Olvey and Trammell were known for that, you know. Olvey and Trammell were known.
Yeah. They were amazing. I had a lot of new things worked on me. That was 2 years and 11 surgeries in my life. That was a hoot that one was. In a sense, I won my first Pikes Peak on crutches. I won a World Hellfire Championship on crutches with a broken leg.
Yeah.
Peugeot on crutches with a broken leg. I had a lot of racing where I just crutched myself to the car, got in, and was okay, let's go.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So you're a 9-time winner of the Pikes Peak Hill Climb?
I am.
What is winning and racing in that race like?
That's a long story too. When I was doing it, it was mostly all dirt. Okay, so I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. It was an unbelievable road. It was the coolest road you've ever driven up. Just imagine a nice, wide, super highway with cool turns, like, road course like Laguna Seca, but dirt and slick and perfectly smooth. It was beautiful. And then they started paving it. And now it's a paved road up Pikes Peak.
Yeah.
But in the old days, it was awesome. And the stories of Parnelli and Mario and Dad, everybody running up there. There was a time Pikes Peak was part of the championship.
Really?
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. It got you points for your national championship. Back in the days where they ran IndyCars and some champion car races, Rosso included. So yeah, surprisingly, most all those guys ran a few Pikes Peaks.
Pretty interesting. That's just an awesome track, and that's in Colorado. How did I not hear about that?
I know it's in Colorado Springs. I mean, it's right there.
I've never actually knew about that race before.
Yeah.
And I'm from Colorado.
Right. I'll tell you what, it's cool to drive. It's a great race, all that. What it really is, though, it's an amazing thing to build cars for. So with our family in Pikes Peak, you really got to get into my grandpa and all the things that he figured out and did, and cooling systems and whatnot to go up there. Because driving is one thing, but getting cars to run up there is really where the magic is.
Yeah, for sure. Now, coming to your IRL career, you began around the time that the open wheel split began. What was your rookie season like when you started with Indy and almost won the race?
I had a great year. Drove with Eddie Cheever. So, my first race in the series was Indy. I ended up Rookie of the Year for the series and not the Indy 500. Ended up finishing 5th, though, in my first Indy 500, which I think we could have run better. I lost my rear brakes early on in the race, and we had a couple bad mistakes in pit stops because I couldn't stop. It wasn't anyone's fault other than the car couldn't stop. But yeah, race went great. It was good. The next year ran 8th. I mean, my runs at Indy, again, always felt good there, happy, safe. I felt like I, could get through the barriers fairly well, and I had 2 good teams. And I mean, the next year with the Pelfrey car and Tim Neff as my engineer, we had one of the most solid race prep cars, for the month. Kind of had a odd set of tires in the race that threw me back a little bit, and the race ended up being really good race, and some other guys came to life. But nevertheless, always had a good time at Indy. Loved the people, loved the track. I enjoyed IndyCar racing, and for the IRL, it was mostly all ovals. So we didn't do any road courses at the time.
What do you remember about finishing second at Texas and then Atlanta?
Those are just really brutal hard races. To be honest, Texas was because everybody was blowing up Goodyears. So remember, that's when the Goodyears were exploding, and we had Goodyear Firestone War still going. So my crew chief and I, Dane, decided to take a wild shot and try not to lose our right rear, and we took our rear sway bar off of the car, which is not something that you normally would do at Texas. Anyway, we did, and we didn't lose the right rear. We're the only Goodyear car that didn't, and so I looked up at the end, and we were second. I mean, to be honest, what I remember about it was just not crashing. And then at the end, hey, we were there. Well, I gotta say, we did run pretty good all the time. It's a decent track for me.
At least you didn't lose both of your back wheels like Marco Andretti did in his recent NASCAR start.
Yeah. Hey, it's tough. I pulled out of Texas one day and watched my left rear pass me right before I got to the pit exit. That was, oh man. So it happens.
Yeah. What do you remember about the Charlotte IndyCar race in 1999 that ended early?
Are you talking about the one with the tire and the stands?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bad night. So I was a car in front of John Paul and right behind whoever he was behind when that happened. And I did lose right rear, hit the wall, was in the infield medical when the race restarted. And that's when that incident happened in turn 3 there. And dude, that just was a sad day. And a very, very bad feeling came over that whole place in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm glad that they didn't run the race anymore. I think that the IRL officials did the right thing. and it just was a sad day.
Yeah, I remember seeing replays of that years ago, and it did not look pretty. I learned that there was actually a reporter that was later expelled from Indianapolis because he released insensitive pictures of parts of the tragedy.
Could have been. I mean, on one hand, I don't know how I feel about that. The truth is the truth. It is what it is. I mean, I think you got to warn people, but I don't think it shouldn't be shown. That's what happened. I mean, that's how it is. And because of that day, there's safer cars today. I mean, we had a pretty wild run there for IRL for a little bit, but now, those tires, wheels, and uprights are tethered to the car, and that stuff doesn't happen. Now they've got safer barriers around the track. My last year, they were just talking about that. You know what I mean? So that's part of it. It happens. How do you get better if those situations don't happen, you don't react to them? So it's sad. I don't think you can hide from it, but that's what it is.
Yeah, for sure. So, what do you remember about Atlanta that year for Team Pelfrey?
Are you talking about when I'm stuck in the infield?
Yeah.
Crashed with Boat and everyone else? I remember running really good behind Steve Knapp, having a great race, and all of a sudden we're getting lapped with, I think Billy was lapping us and someone else. I don't know. Marco hit Billy, and then we're all wrecked. I know that I was a hot potato. I was a little bit pissed off at Greco at that thing and the whole situation. For whatever reason, I felt like it could have easily been avoided. I don't know exactly now why I thought that, but something I saw, I felt like, Billy had gotten run into or whatever. It was like, we were getting lapped, why couldn't you just let the leaders by, type of thing. And I remember them having to bring out more people to get us off the track, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Oh, the $5,000 I had to pay to IRL for.
And wasn't that the maximum you could get as a fine?
Yeah, I don't know. They kept upping it because I got one in Dover, and I got a few that year. I can tell you that.
Did your dad ever get a lot of fines knowing his...
I don't think they fined him then. Or they would have.
I think the only fine I recall him ever getting was the $40,000 he got for the infraction at Indianapolis that was originally the penalty and then changed to a fine. That's all I recall.
Yeah, I don't. Again, if they would have, looking back, I'm sure the accounting wishes they would have fined all of them guys back then for, oh my God, they would have made a lot of money.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you got to say, from my end, I'm going, what are you finding me for? I mean, I'm looking forward to my dad's generation going, God, we're doing nothing compared to them. Why are y'all upset? But the woke was running faster than us, so we're still behind. What do you mean you can't do that? What do you mean you can't wreck rental cars? What do you mean? Just run through fences. Well, what are you talking about? I thought that's what we did.
Everybody, I'm sure, has that experience of seeing other people do things that are way worse than what they're doing, and then when they commit an infraction, everybody acts all shook.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we all do have it. And I have to say that in my family, you kind of grew up with the dinner table. That was kind of normal behavior. I think we weren't really the GQ family of motorsports. We were a little bit on the wild side if you take everybody into account.
Yeah, I know that feeling. So, didn't you drive for Tony Stewart's brief IndyCar team?
One race.
What was that like?
I had a blast. We blew an engine, so unfortunately the race didn't go great with us, but Larry Curry was his engineer and put his team together, and he came down, and I've always got along with Tony. He's a great guy, great competitor, an immense driver, and a good guy. We get along. We see each other at sprint car races whenever we see each other and stuff, and he's great. So I was lucky enough to drive for him again. It was the only race that was short, but we had fun.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please hit like and subscribe if you did so, and please continue supporting our amazing guest. And everybody, we'll see you next time on SFM.
Hi, this is Ted Warner speaking. While the checkered flag is waved for this program, stay tuned for next week for the next episode of SFM. Thanks to Doug Kenny for what he does for motorsports.